Shalom, Kohala Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. And the brother Yahshua back with the World War III daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. All right, so this is Isaiah 13:17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, right, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. All right, and silver and gold is about to make its grand appearance on center stage because as these currencies change, right, silver and gold is going to be money again. Right, Vlad is over there backing his new currency. What is it, rubles? He's backing rubles and gold right now. So let's go through this real quick. Behold, I. Behold means look, right? Look, I. Behold, I. The I is the Most High. Yahweh, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Will stir up, right, the Medes. The Medes are the Russians, against them. Them are the Americans, as in Babylon the Great. So God is stirring up the Russians against the Americans, all right, who cannot be bought off, can't be bribed, right? Where is that? Bribed, all right? In other words, the Most High is in full control of everything that is going on. So we're going to let Skeletor here break it down. First thing he's going to say is this war is Russia against the United States, which is the crux of World War III, right? Yeah, other allies of both sides are going to fight, but really it all comes down to the destruction of Babylon the Great. Who's going to do it? Well, the Medes. Russia has more nukes, if you will, than everybody else, and they got to use them. Those nukes will be used, all right? So this is full spectrum survival 2 hours ago. Big warning, what's really going on here? It says Babylon the Great is going for broke in Ukraine, which Ukraine is part of the former Soviet Union. So what the hell is Babylon doing over in the former Soviet? Right, destabilizing. This is what they do. Anyway, here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, there's a lot going on in our world. The World War is kicking off between Russia and the United States of America using the proxy of Ukraine. China is readying its moves against Taiwan, and in fact, they are removing the issuance of visas to certain Japanese citizens because they see Japan taking sides. The following story I have for you is a person on the border between Russia and Ukraine. My life, she says, is dominated by the constant threat of missile explosions and blackouts to the electricity. We have nothing left. We have only ourselves and what we can get by on a daily basis. You see, that's why your preparedness is so important for you. That's why you and your family have to get as much food as you can, as many canned goods and can openers, as many extra shoes, the light bulbs that you think are easy to purchase, and you'll just get them when you need them. You're going to need cutting tools, things to repair your windows. What about your door if it gets blown through? You're going to need to be able to fix your own washer machine, do your own plumbing, and hopefully you'll be able to keep the lights on. We worry about the next wave, she says. What will tomorrow be like? Will there be anything left of our home, of the city, or will it be us? The blackouts, she warns, are bad. We can't keep our phones charged. What are you going to do about communications? What about just inter-family communication if somebody has to go to the store to get something? You see, when people think of a war, they think of the greatest war movies in history. Those have been fantasized. Those have been fiction glossed over. It's not like that. People are still going to get the grain that they need from market. They're still going to get the water that they need to survive. They're just doing so under extreme stress. The crisis of the moment brings duress into their life. So when this person says they can't keep their phones charged, what will you do to communicate with the people in your family that are possibly still going to work while bombs are flying, while planes are going overhead, while there's a threat of an attack in the city? I don't know, she says, if the country is being further attacked or not. What if something happens to the nuclear power plant? That's why you need a shortwave radio, or you need some sort of communication device that you can keep charged. Maybe you have just a solar generator that you use just to keep those devices up and running. Even in all of this, she warns, the real fear is our safety. Everywhere is at risk. Residential areas, power plants, railway lines, stations. Where does our food come from? Even hospitals are targeted because soldiers use them as shelters. Even children's hospitals. I try to rest as much as possible, but for my mother and father, it is not so easy.
You guys know how it is when you buy a new Mac. It's super.
Slovakia. Take it away, Skeletor.
Easy. She says, I can see their stress. We wake up to the sound of explosions that continue through the night. Now, another person that was interviewed in this war is with child. They're pregnant. When the sirens aren't wailing, she says, there is another noise that is new to her neighborhood. The chattering of generators as homes and businesses work to compensate for being without electricity for as many hours per day as 12. There's music playing, but nothing drowns out that sound of the lawnmower, the sound of the generator. This is how easy it can happen to you. Many like you are watching. This person, her family, they moved away from a larger city. They moved to a more safe, more rural area when the war first started. But likely because of family closeness and financial burdens, they never wanted to leave the country. It wasn't long before fate pulled them back into the city. I have a job here, says the pregnant mother. Her husband cannot work remotely. We have many friends here, our home. For me, it is a nightmare to move somewhere else. I know people that are watching right now. Maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody else. They'll say things like, well, she must not really be scared if she doesn't want to leave. But it's not that easy, my friends. People live in fear of abuse every day. They live in fear of abuse inside of their homes, inside of their workplace. Maybe it's physical abuse. Maybe it's emotional abuse. They live in areas of high crime. They live in areas of violence, and yet they stay. So when you say, well, a person must not be afraid enough or they would leave, that's just not true. Humans have this ability to stay in their place. There is something that pulls humans to stay where they are, rooted firmly into place, and not war, not the hope for peace. Nothing can break them free of that curse.
All right, so he's kind of all over the place, but it's good though, because if you think that this war isn't coming here, and I mean, it might not be shelling and small arms fire in your neighborhood, but what is coming here? Civil war, right? Don't you know that when a country is at war, they have to control their citizenry. They have to manipulate their citizens into a favorable uh, opinion of the war itself. So they have to manipulate, use propaganda, okay, and they have to destabilize their own country, right, to keep them on a war footing, all right. So there are many things that are going to be going on in America, and it's not going to whatever he's getting into as a result of the war. Things like embargoes go into place. Trade suffers. There are trade wars. So if your country is dependent on other countries like the U.S. is for oil, for food, for the things that we need, and a war starts, uh, these countries that you're fighting against aren't going to bring their goods. So what is that going to do to you and your country? All right. There's going to be breakdowns. So, oh, well, that's the war over there. So only an idiot would say some shit like that. Don't you know what's coming to your own town? All right. Well, let's take a look. Oh, what is this? Bear with me. What is this? Looking in the wrong place. Okay. Let's start right here. As a result of the war, all right? Start here. Second Ezra 15 and 10. Behold, my people, Israel, is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. That's talking about America. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite America with plague. So the Most High is letting you know what's about to happen to this place, right? While World War III is running rampant. First of all, a bunch of soldiers are going over there, right, to die. I was in the brew house the other day having dinner with my family, and the waitress goes, I think she might have been a Spaniard, so that would make her a Edomite, but she had a lot of flavor. She could have been, speckled bird, but she kept saying that her son just went to he's been in the service for 2 years. He went to Fort Benning, Georgia. And I'm like, oh, he's infantry. He's going straight over there. He's gonna die, right? But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. It's talking about America. Egypt shall mourn. Here's what's going on here while the war is going on. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. So you're not getting out of any, oh, well, that's going on over there, right? No longer will you be called tender and delicate. That thing is coming here. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. There's your World War III. But that's going on right here too. Civil war, race war. It's all going on right here. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Where's all the grain? Where's the wheat come from? It comes from Russia and the Ukraine. They ain't sending nothing over here. All right, so we'll stop right there. Just a quick update. Skeletor's letting you know that. Let's listen to the first part again. Just listen to this. The first words out of his mouth.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, there's a lot going on in our world. The world war is kicking off between Russia and the United States of America.
That's it. Right? Then he'll go into proxy. But that's the war. I will stir up the Medes against them.
In the proxy of Ukraine.
Good enough. All right, so with that, we hope that